So today I am excited to show you what I made with those hanks of fluffy butt yarn, the 100% alpaca yarn that I got from my cousin. So if you're interested in seeing my fluffy butt yarn FOs, stick around. If you watched Sunday's podcast, you will know that I have been hard at work, crocheting like a crazy person, trying to get these projects done. And I broke them up into, I'm going to have 3 different videos showing you my FOs. So I explained it more in the podcast, which I can link up here if you have not seen and would like to. But I decided to go with 2 different hat patterns, and then I'm doing a follow-up 3rd video with some ear warmers and headbands. So, it was like smaller leftover amounts of yarn after I got through the hats. So this particular hat pattern, all of these hats were from the creator Olga Poltova. Let me check my notes. Olga Poltova. I think if I did that wrong, I apologize 100%. I love your pattern, and I am going to link the pattern. I will link her Instagram, and I will link all of that so you can see that, because she does have a bunch of great patterns. This, I believe, was called like her Chunky Lacy beanie, and she also has a baby version of it. So find that in the description box. But let's go ahead and get started, and we'll start with this one that I'm wearing on my head right now. So for this one, I did pair it with Yarn Bee's Hint of Silk, and this is an 85% bamboo, 15% silk. And it was very luxurious to work with, and when it was paired with the alpaca, I did the lightest, like the natural color alpaca, and I think it came out like a black and white, and I really love it. I am keeping this one, Erin. So I absolutely love it, and it feels very luxurious. It feels thick. I did find this natural color of the alpaca to be the thickest of the 3 colors. I did learn how to put a pom-pom on, which I had never done before. So I watched a Marley Bird video of this, and basically you just take a button and sew it inside just off center, and then make sure that's really secure. Like I used a needle and thread, and then since there's a magic ring on top, I used my crochet hook, stuck it up through the middle of the magic ring, pulled the elastic, because this pom-pom had elastic, and then basically like you're doing a ponytail, you just pull it around the button, twist it, pull it around the button, twist it, pull it around till it's nice and secure. So that gives you the option to potentially take it off if you need to wash this. Which brings up an excellent point. If you need to wash these, don't put it in the washer and dryer. That will probably ruin it. So I would hand wash this only. Be very gentle when you go to dry it. Just squeeze gently. Don't wring it out. And I've done the technique where I kind of roll it up in a towel to get a little bit of extra water off, and then leave it to dry. Maybe point a fan at it. But I really don't think I'm going to be like wearing this like out to shovel in and to sweat. Like it's more just to be fun and wintry and cozy. So I don't think it'll be getting too dirty anyway. But let's get going with the rest of these hats. Now there's some variation on size basically with all of these, even though I used the same pattern and the same hook, but it's just because like the yarns I was pairing with do vary slightly. And then also, like I said, I found that the natural color was the thickest, the tan was like a very close second, and then the brown was just a smidge thinner. So like that one, the brown, I would say it was more of a 3-weight yarn, and then in a couple places it might have like gotten down to a 2 and then back to a 3, where the others I thought were pretty, like this natural was like a pretty consistent, actually this isn't the natural, this is the medium. But the natural one, well, they're all natural, none of them are dyed, but the lightest one probably was the thickest, which was a solid 4, and then the tan, the medium, was probably like a 4 most of the time, but then crept down to a 3-weight. So that's how that is. And then I will point out too real quick that out of the 6 hanks I got, only 2 of them had knots in it. And the downside is, I believe the place where it was spun, they had done like the invisible knot or the magic knot. And since this yarn is so like smooth and buttery, the knots just came out. So what I ended up doing was tying a couple knots and then leaving like longer tails that I could just weave into the project. And I was fine doing that because I know that's more secure. So on to the first hat. For this hat, I paired it with Lion Brand's Ice Cream Cotton Blend. And I had gotten this a couple years ago during Hobby Lobby's sale. And it is basically a 50-50 cotton acrylic blend. It's very soft to work with and I like it a lot. So as you can see, the hat turned out really good. You can really see the definition on there of the pattern. I love how you can see the stripes of the ice cream. The neutral colors I think turned out great, and I paired this with the medium colored alpaca. This one is almost like I have a pretty big head for a woman, and this one just turned out a little bit bigger. So I'm assuming part of it is the yarn I paired it with, and then I'm guessing that also my tension was maybe a little bit looser on this one. But love how this turned out. My next 3 hats I did in this pattern, in Olga's pattern, I paired with I Love This Cotton. Not this color, because I used 2 skeins where I just had one-offs of them. So this one I did not use. I just grabbed it for an example so that you can see it's like a very busy, variegated pattern. I Love This Cotton is 100% cotton. It's fairly soft. I like working with it. It is definitely better than like the Crafter's Secret or one of those. Definitely softer. I would not really call this a kitchen cotton. So for this first one I did right here, which I really like how this turned out, I did pair it again with, this one is paired with the dark brown. And you will actually see it here in a second with the dark brown paired with a different yarn. But I think this turned out great. It's got the greens, the golds, the blues, and the color of this one was called Harvest. So I think that turned out great. You can see the top there, and this is it paired with the dark alpaca. For the next one, I have the dark alpaca, and it was paired with the pink, teal, and orange. I Love This Cotton. So same specs on this right here, but look how fun that turned out. So you can really see, I'll put these next to each other. So same brown alpaca, and then the 2 different cottons right here. Totally different effect. Very smooth again. Yeah, I guess there isn't much else to say about that. Oftentimes the variegated seems very busy to me, but I really like pairing them with a solid because for me, in my eyes, it just kind of helps tone it down just a little bit. So again, Harvest for this one, if you have that on hand and are wanting to make it. And then this one was called Pink, Teal, and Orange. So I did another hat, the same pattern, same I Love This Cotton, but this is paired with the lightest of the alpaca. So the lightest one, like I said, does feel a little bit softer, not softer, but thicker than the dark brown. So there is a little bit more of a squish factor on this lighter one, but they're both so fun and have like a totally different effect. I can tell my tension was a little bit tighter on this one, and you can actually see, I feel like, the pattern a little bit more with this lighter. It might just be showing up a little better on camera. So again, I could not be happier. I really like this pattern. It works up pretty fast, and I think it worked great to show the yarn. and it is so soft. The alpaca itself was really, really buttery, and I think this will make a more affordable product if Erin wants to sell these. You know, that she can sell them for a little bit lower price point, since like this is 50 alpaca, 50 cotton, since it's you know, double stranded there. So I think this works out great. If you are wanting to make sure you get the rest of the finished object videos, just go ahead and subscribe. There'll be like a little circle at the end of this video with my face on it you can click on. And I have had a couple people say that they haven't been able to comment or to subscribe. That's something where if you're on your phone going through the app, you are probably signed into YouTube through the app. But if you are on your laptop or desktop, or if you typed it into the search bar, YouTube into the search bar, you might not be signed in. So you just sign in with your Gmail account if you've already set up an account. So that is how you can access that. If you have not seen the unboxing I did a week ago, I will have that linked right up here, so you can go ahead and click on that as soon as this video is over. Thanks for talking yarn with me, guys.